So just before I made my first $1 million online, I went from zero to $100,000 in a period of 3 years without having a degree or any qualifications. And so today, I'm going to share with you exactly how I did this. Firstly, if you don't know me, I am the co-founder of an academy where we teach people how to start and scale online businesses. Secondly, this is not financial advice, and everything that I talk about is for educational purposes only. But hopefully this gives you some ideas on what you can do to make money yourself. With that said, let's get straight into it. So it all started when I was in college studying business management. I was actually halfway through my degree when I decided that university wasn't for me. I couldn't see the value in the knowledge that they were teaching me, and I didn't want to work 50 hours a week just to pay off my student loans after graduating. So I decided to take a gap year and see what other options were out there. At this point, I was very broke. I didn't have any savings. I had just enough money to cover the deposit on a flat in the city center, which I shared with 2 other people. It was here in this flat when I started my first online business. This was back in 2016 when Instagram was becoming more and more popular. And I saw an opportunity to provide influencer marketing services to local businesses. Now, I had no experience in doing this, but I did have a basic understanding of how social media worked, so I decided to learn everything that I needed to in order to provide this service. I spent time creating templates and tools to help me scale this business and quickly got it off the ground. Within 6 months, I was making around $20,000 per month and felt like I had finally found something special. However, at this point, I still didn't have enough money to live on my own and be completely location independent. So I kept working hard and came up with the idea of selling e-commerce products as well. When I started looking into dropshipping, everyone was talking about how amazing it was, but no one was really talking about the downsides. After watching a few YouTube videos, I ordered a bunch of products and started selling them on Shopify. This business model is perfect for beginners because you don't need to handle any inventory yourself, and you can set it up for pretty cheap. However, what I quickly realized was that it was incredibly hard to find a winning product. And even if you did find a good product, there is a lot of competition in this industry. But this didn't put me off, and I kept learning new things and trying different strategies until I started seeing success. Within another 6 months, I had scaled this business to around $40,000 per month and felt like I could finally move out of my parents' house. However, at this point, I was spending around $30,000 to $40,000 each month on Facebook ads to run my business. This meant that although I was making around $40,000, I was barely making any profit, and my bank account was almost always at zero. It was at this point that I realized I needed to change something if I wanted to grow. Although I was making enough money to live on, I knew that I wasn't maximizing my potential. So I started learning everything that I could about Facebook ads. I wanted to understand why the ads were so expensive and how I could get more bang for my buck. After reading tons of books, taking courses, and watching YouTube videos, I learned that there was a better way to market online and that I had been doing it completely wrong. I discovered something called the attention funnel, which taught me that there is a cheaper way to market online and generate leads before sending them down the sales funnel. I immediately started implementing this strategy into my business, and it reduced my customer acquisition cost by 75%. As a result, my profit margins increased dramatically, and I was making around $100,000 per month within another 6 months. However, at this point, I was burnt out. I hadn't taken any time off in 3 years, and I felt like I had lost my passion for what I was doing. So I took a couple of months off to travel and spend time with my friends and family. When I came back, I had a completely new mindset and was thinking of ways that I could help other people start their online businesses. This was when I met my now business partner and co-founder of an academy. We both had a similar mindset and passion for entrepreneurship and decided to join forces and create an academy to help others follow their dreams and become location independent. As soon as we created the academy, it took off. It was everything that I had hoped for and more, and allowed me to spend more time with my family and do the things that I love. So let's go over what steps I took to make this happen. Firstly, I had a goal. I wanted to become financially free and never have to work for anyone else again. Without having a clear goal, it would have been very easy for me to give up when times got tough. But I knew that if I kept pushing forward, I would eventually get there. Secondly, I took massive action. When I first started my online business, I was working 14 hours a day. I had a burning desire to succeed, and this motivated me to keep going even when I was exhausted. Sometimes I still work long hours today, but most days I work around 4 to 5 hours, and then I spend the rest of the day traveling, meeting friends, or spending time with my family. Thirdly, I took responsibility for my actions. When I first started out, I didn't blame anyone when things went wrong. Instead, I took responsibility and tried to fix the situation as quickly as possible. I believe that this is one of the most important traits that you need to have if you want to be successful. Fourthly, I learned from my mistakes. Every time I made a mistake, I tried to figure out what I could have done differently next time. I believe that it's important to learn from your mistakes so that you do not repeat them in the future. Fifthly, I surrounded myself with positive people. I believe that the people you surround yourself with have a big impact on who you are. That's why I try to spend time with people who inspire me and push me to be a better person. And lastly, I never gave up. Even when things got tough and I wanted to quit, I kept pushing forward. I knew that if I gave up, I would regret it. So hopefully this has inspired you to start your own online business. If you want to learn more about how to start a dropshipping business, we have a free training that takes you through the entire process step by step. You can get access to it below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.